What's going on, everyone? Happy Sunday to everyone. Hopefully, everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test, hopefully you have tested negative. If you did test positive, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long COVID issues. It is time now for the Sunday edition of the Pandemic Update for Sunday, June 9th, 2024. If you're new to my channel, this is where we do the daily pandemic update on all things COVID and any other virus that could be a health threat to you. Let's face it, there are a lot of viruses out there, and things are constantly changing with them. We're learning new things each and every day. However, it's not always being talked about on the news and the media. That's where I come along. I created this channel about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago now. I created this channel to raise awareness as to what is going on with the COVID-19 pandemic and other viruses, because you need to be informed with what's going on. Each of them have a health risk to you. So want to stay informed with what's going on? Subscribe down below. Like my content, give it a thumbs up, leave your comments down below, share these videos with anyone you know, and of course, hit that notification bell so you know when I do my new videos. Alright, we do have a few news stories today. Then we're going to take a look at some of our daily data, and then the second half of this video will be focused on wastewater. I think we're looking somewhere between a 15 to 20 minute video today, somewhere in that range. Alright, starting off, Madrid. We talked about yesterday, their positivity rate is at 43.2%. Well, there's something else that's going up now. Madrid COVID-19 hospital admissions are already greater than last winter's peak. That's not a good thing. Their hospital admissions continue to rise at this point. Now taking a look at this. Just going to read a headline here. Pakistan confirms fifth polio case of the year, 17 days after victim's death. From time to time, I should say, there have been cases of polio popping up in and around the world ever since the COVID pandemic started. And Pakistan has now had 5 cases this year, which is not a good thing. Now taking a look at the COVID forecast update from Mike Horger with his PMC COVID-19 forecast for June 7th, 2024, and he says COVID transmission has stabilized for now. Transmission is high in absolute terms, very bad, and low in relative terms, better now than later. I'll explain in a moment what he means by that. Nearly 1% of Americans are actively infectious. So let's take a look at this graphic here, and you can see here things have leveled off, which is much different than the picture that you would be getting from wastewater scan. Again, I have said before, wastewater scan is a little bit too erratical. One day they're going straight up, next they're correcting it lower, next straight up. I mean, they are pretty much all over the place. And I'm not saying their data is unreliable. It is a great tool, but this here is an average, remind you, of the entire United States. So you may have Hawaii, which has been going up. Maybe Hawaii's starting to peak. You have California, which has gone up. Maybe California is going to slow a little bit. But then you also have places that are dropping. So when you average it out, there's still enough places that are either dropping or not yet rising that makes the United States become flat. However, if you take a look at this, remember how he said things are relatively better now than later. Why? Because look at the very end of this. You can see nationally, at the end of this, there'll be more places that are starting to rise, and nationally they'll start to go up slowly. And if I could see his forecast further out, I would guess, if I had to guess, as we head into July and maybe into August, we're going to see things start to rise even more. That's what is being expected as of right now. You can see up to June 30th, just before 4th of July, there are some very small hints here that maybe we will start to see that surge that usually comes around right around 4th of July and, of course, post 4th of July. But we'll have to see and wait until next time. So right now, things are leveling off in the United States. I mean, there's been places on the west that are rising. Then there's been ever so tiny bumps in a state like New York State. And then there's been other states that are doing nothing. And I should also remind you that Florida right now is also seeing their rise as well. Alright, moving on to this. Mike Honey posted this. Here's the latest variant picture for the United Kingdom. Thought I would share this today. The KP.3 appears to be taking over rapidly from flirt lineage KP.2 with a growth advantage of 3% per day, 20% per week. Wow, That is really impressive. And in case you need a reminder, the UK, the cases did drop this week, but with KP.3 continuing to rise at that rate, we'll have to see if that actually continues, or they level off, or maybe even go back up a little bit again in future weeks. And their current week's case count, up to May 29th, anyhow, their data is really delayed. 1,604 cases, and it's even more delayed when you talk about deaths, healthcare, and everything else. So, yeah, it's I don't know why they are so delayed. Testing positivity rate in the UK is 8.4%. Taking a look now at today's pollen levels in the United States, and as we refresh this, 64% of the country is in medium status, but you'll notice here there is less orange and red. Don't know what that's about. I guess yellow is considered medium as well, and there is a lot of places that are in medium, especially in the Northwest. That's where the pollen levels are the worst today. In the Pacific Northwest and Oregon, you still have red yet again today. And in the Northeast, things are a little bit better today. We had some bad pollen levels here where I'm at yesterday, and it is still orange at this point, but not as widespread. And when you take a look at the Southeast, you do see some green is popping up now. Taking a look at air qualities around the United States, and let's see here. Today, all right, I'm seeing some green. That's good. And we can see here there is still some yellow in Arkansas. And of course, Tennessee is also seeing some yellow. Down in Texas as well. Anytime you get a wind out of the south from Mexico, you're going to bring in some of that wildfire smoke. But at the moment, it's actually not too bad. And things in the Northeast are starting to get better. You have some greens, which that is a good thing. And Northern Plains are really good. And the West Coast, yes, there are a few places that are hot spots, but overall, not terrible. All right, moving on now to heat-related illnesses. And the heat-related illness dashboard, it's going to continue to fill in because we are starting to see the heat pick up in more places. The Northeast is going to see heat the second half of next week. Of course, this is not popping up, but you get the idea. We'll get an update from this again tomorrow. Taking a look now, you can learn more about the climate and weather. I do have another place for that on X. It is Climate Data Report, and I also have this. Check this out. Let's refresh this. We do have another YouTube channel, which is Climate Data Report, where I do talk about climate and the weather, and I'm back to posting there. For the time being, I'm back to posting daily videos or little short updates of what is going on. So check that out. Climate Data Report. All right. Taking a look at EMS calls for Philadelphia yesterday, a good number. It's still near 800, but it's below 800. I will take that at this time of year. Any day below 800 in the summer months is what I'm going to say right now. I will take that. Ultimately, I would like to see it below 700. That's pretty hard to do, but hey, 775, we'll take it. Because if you all remember, and we can go back to actually take a look at this, yesterday was well over 800, and well, Friday, it should be down here somewhere. Friday, yeah, 902 EMS calls. Not happy about Friday's number, but you have to remember, this is a big city. It's not always all going to be breathing difficulty, sick, this and that. We have a big problem in portions of our city with overdoses. That's one of the reasons why EMS calls are so high. When I listen, I do hear such a high number of overdoses. I'm sure you all know about the Kensington section of Philadelphia. I won't get into that. But moving on now, it has been a busy day in the suburbs. Right now, outside of Philadelphia, in Montgomery County, just 12 calls. But earlier, I seen it between 15 and 17 for an extended period of time. And it's been an even busier day in Chester County today, especially this morning. This morning, there was a period where there was just a ton of respiratory sick calls and strokes. It looks like that's calmed down a little bit. I'm still seeing heart problems, respiratory difficulty, heart problems again. So, yes, it's been a relatively steady and consistent Sunday is what I will call it. Taking a look at Walgreens, which will update again tomorrow. And what you need to know is, here it is. Walgreens this week, the positivity rate did increase by 4.3% to 22.9%, and the overall trend has been upward. And I think it's going to be a steady build throughout the summer. There may eventually be a period, maybe in the next week or two, where it slows down a little bit, but overall, I think it's just going to be a gradual build throughout the summer. I don't know how high this number is going to peak at by the end of summer, but with testing being so low, and there are some places that are seeing rises in cases and whatnot, it makes sense that the positivity rate is rising, and I would hope or I would like to see more of these states start to report. I would love to get a positivity rate from Walgreens in Hawaii, which again, it would probably just only be just a couple tests. Alaska is another one, Maine, Washington. Washington is reporting here. Washington's reporting 24.5% positivity rate. That did go up slightly. It just fits the theme in the West Coast. Alrighty, yesterday we took a look at this, and this is hospitalizations. There was another place that I wanted to take a look at. This was not so much hospitalizations, but emergency department visits. I forgot to show this yesterday. And take a look at this. Alaska. Alaska is seeing an increase, a pretty significant increase in the number of emergency department visits diagnosed with COVID. It's almost up to 1% now. It bottomed, its low level was down to just about 0.2%. So, I mean, that is a significant increase in Alaska. We'll take a look at a more places throughout the week. We have to get over to wastewater. Let's start off with Canada first. Canada has 16 sites that either increased and 30 that have no change and 16 that decreased. 3 sites are high, 3 are moderate, 17 are low, 39 are new sites. All right, taking a look now at the wastewater in the United States. All right, this week we have 51 new sites. That's the sites on this map in white. What you do not see on the right color code is the sites in gray. 0 to 19% COVID. That's a really low number. That dropped by 13%. We don't want that number to drop. That means the number of higher sites is increasing. And when we come down to, that's 469 sites. We come down to the next category, 20 to 39% COVID, 473. Again, that dropped. 40 to 59% COVID. That's this really light shade of blue. That is 213 sites. That went up by 2%. And now we're getting into the bad news. 60 to 79% COVID detected. That's these orange sites. There's 88 of them. 80 to 100% COVID detected. There are 18 of them, and that did increase significantly. And let's just go and take a look at a couple of these red sites. And right off the bat, you will see here that Hawaii is showing a ton of red sites. You can see here, just about every one we click on, Honolulu, 400,000 population. It's just skyrocketing upward. That's not a good thing. When we click on some of these other sites, you can see not all of them update frequently, but some of them do. And you can see here, some places are starting to show signs of a peak. And there is signs of that in the emergency department visits as well, which is a good thing. Florida, we're starting to see some orange pop up there. Miami-Dade, this site hasn't updated. I don't know why it just shows a straight line across, but it is coming up as orange. We go over to Sarasota, Florida. Look at that. It is going up straight upward. We also see some orange now in portions of South Carolina. Beaufort, look at that. It is going upward. Then when we come up here to the northeast, you can see there's still a lot of blue, which is okay. There's also a few orange sites. Great Lakes region, there's still a lot of blue as well. Let's come down here to Chicago real quickly, and we'll take a look at what's going on in Cook County. And in Cook County, at the big site, there's 3 big sites. There are 1.1 million population. This one's dropping. Another one's rising, and let's see, can we make it? Okay, so 2 out of 3 sites, they are rising at this time. Zooming the map back out. We're going to make our way out to the west coast. Then we're going to do some sites over on Wastewater Scan. And we can see out to the west, like when we come over here to what's going on in Utah, Salt Lake area, a lot of orange. And that's not good. It seems to me like when Salt Lake City area starts to change, all the sites start to change at once. If one goes up, the majority of them start going up. And that is what we are seeing here. Yeah, look at this. Wow, this one is really starting to go up. Utah County, I guess there's a Utah County. Utah, that one's going up. And it's exactly like I was saying what's happening. Here's one that is dropping. Weber and Davis, another Weber and Davis. This one's kind of was going up, and now it's leveled off a little bit. So you kind of get the idea here. California, yes, California, we're seeing light blue. Yes, we're seeing oranges. And there is even one red site as well. And this one, wow, it just continues to rise. Taking a look at what is going on in Oregon, we can see Oregon is still in the blues, and hopefully that will stay the same. Lane County is actually dropping at this time. That's good to see. Pierce and King, Washington, wow, rapidly going up, and you're already orange. Should that continue, I think you'll end up going into the red. Maricopa County, Arizona, you can see is dropping at this time. All right, we do want to get over to wastewater and take a look at what's going on in their data. And you can see here that it's showing a rapid rise, but that is probably likely going to correct itself over time like it did last time. It showed a rapid rise, then it corrected. Here we are again. And hopefully this will correct. Overall, the trend nationally, at least according to their data, is upward. And mind you, they take a look at less wastewater sites than there is at the CDC. RSV is low at this time, influenza A, influenza B, all low. HMPV is dropping, and norovirus is seeing a small drop at this time. Let's go region by region. Taking a look at the Midwest region, we see the Midwest. Suddenly the Midwest is dropping for COVID. RSV is low, influenza A, influenza B is low, HMPV is high, but it's dropping at this time. Norovirus is medium, but it is dropping at this time. Going over to the Northeast now, taking a look at that, we can see here, the Northeast, that's one of the regions that showed, oh, surprise, suddenly it's going straight up. That should probably correct itself. I think that's overdone. RSV is low, influenza A, influenza B all low, HMPV is dropping, and norovirus is medium, but it is dropping at this time. Taking a look at what's going on in the South, and in the South we do see that there is a rise continuing for COVID, and a lot of that is because of what's going on in Florida. RSV at this time is low, influenza A is relatively low. There is a slight rise here in the most recent update. That could get corrected as well. Influenza B is low, HMPV is low, and norovirus is dropping at this time. Out in the West Coast, we do see that there is a rise that's continuing for COVID. Again, it's showing a rapid rise, but that is going to be corrected. RSV is low at this time. Influenza A is starting to see a little bit of a rise again, maybe. Influenza B is low, and we do note that HMPV is dropping. Despite, there again, there's that little, look at that, it's doing with norovirus as well. Just these random spikes that it's showing. And I think that is an issue that they need to fix. Let's just take a look at a couple individual wastewater sites. Let's see what's going on in the Orlando, Florida area. How about Orange County? We'll go to South Orange County, and we can see here, COVID is starting to go up relatively quickly now, which is to be expected. It always happens in the summertime. In Florida, RSV has leveled off at this time. Influenza A is dropping. Influenza B, no issues at this time. HMPV, not much of an issue at this time. And norovirus, it's still coming in high, but it is dropping at this time. No Mpox detections and some hepatitis A detections at this time. Let's go somewhere else. Let's go over to Alabama and see what's going on there. How about we go up here, Turkey Creek Water Facility. This would be Pinson, Alabama. COVID is really low at this time. RSV, not much of an issue. Influenza A, influenza B, and HMPV, all not much of an issue. Norovirus is medium at this time. No issues with Mpox, and no detections of hepatitis A. Wow, that wastewater site is doing fantastic at this time. That is really good to see. Let's go back up to the north again. Let's see what's going on in Newark, New Jersey. Then we will do a wastewater site in the west, and then we'll call it a day. How about that? Newark at this time is actually seeing a drop for COVID at this time, with most recent updates showing it's trying to rise. But again, wastewater scam being radical as it is. RSV is low at this time. Influenza A drop. Influenza B, not much of an issue. Really dropping for HMPV at this time. Norovirus, it says high, but it's probably actually medium. It's between 20 and 40,000 pathogens. Some detections of Mpox back in May. And when we come down here to hepatitis A, there have been a few detections of that. All right, let's go somewhere back in California once again. Let's see what's going on in San Francisco. Are we seeing a drop at San Francisco yet? And I believe it was the southeast site that was seeing the biggest rise. And take a look at this. Most recent updates. Yet again, San Francisco is continuing to go higher for COVID. This is a big wastewater site. 750,000 population. RSV is even seeing a little bit of a rise. Influenza A is flat at this time. Influenza B, not much of an issue. HMPV is high. Norovirus has gone up ever so slightly. And Mpox, there have been a few detections back in April, and some detections of hepatitis A. Alrighty, folks, that does it for the Sunday edition of the Pandemic Update. We'll have another Pandemic Update again tomorrow. If you enjoyed this update, give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, share these videos with anyone you know, and of course, hit that notification bell and leave your comments down below. I will see you all again next time. Until I see you again next time, stay safe, everyone, and have a fantastic Sunday afternoon. Thanks for watching.